So what is stupider in a street fight than trying to take someone down? I'll give you an example. You should come in to try to grapple. A lot of these guys, they'll put their forearms up first and they'll go down. You know, they'll go like this, right? As soon as you go down, I can see it coming on. Precision striking is what I'm doing. So now, stab your back, right? Your heart's pumping, you're grappling. All I have to do is keep grappling with you until you bleed out. Oh, you're getting weaker. Oh. So even if you can bench press 250 pounds more than I can, you know, which is like fucking one of the big people from the, you know, someone who can bench press around 500 pounds or so, you know, plus coming from the gym, you know. That means they're even slower. It means I'll stab them even more before it gets to that grappling situation. Their heart's pumping faster, speeding up the process. They're a dead man. You see what I mean? When it comes to self-defense, what matters is practical self-defense, not grappling, not being big and strong, okay? When it comes to just, you know, let's just, you know, put our fucking stuff down, take off our shirts, and let's knuckle it up, then being big and strong just pay for a lot of cases. Because if you're bigger and stronger, chances are you can take a hit better than people who have a thinner frame and thinner body build and what have you. So just some food for thought that I always cover. You know, just today some bootlicker said, you know, come to my gym and whoop to whoop. Then realize, you know, it's like asking a fucking bowling champion to come compete with you in skiing, you know? I'm not talking about grappling. I'm not talking about MMA. I'm not talking about boxing. No, I always go for this. Though I would be a great boxer because I've already just demonstrated I'm faster than the lightweights are. So yeah, I would be a pretty great boxer. For the same reason that Wilder is a great boxer, you know? For the same reason that white guy who has titles in the other kinds of boxing circuits, you know, I don't know what it is, WBC. I don't know all these off the top of my head, but you know, he's not the biggest heavyweight. He's tall. He's fast. You know, who are the best boxers? You know, was Ali the strongest boxer? Or was he fast? You know, it goes back to common sense now. So, you know, again, my argument isn't even boxing. I'm just throwing that out there so you can truly understand, you know, why Africans tend to be tall and skinny. Because the best warriors, when it comes to primitive warfare, before you had, you know, alchemy, advancing armor, and all this stuff, you know, when it comes to primitive warfare, which happens to be what self-defense ends up being, because we don't walk around with fucking Roman armor on and big old shields and no, we don't. You know, we don't walk around with puncture-proof vests on. You know, a lot of people walk around with thin cotton shirts. You know, and they have keys and they have pocket knives and what have you, and it's legal to have a knife. It's more than a small, has more than a small blade, or it's even a switchblade. I think I'm not sure about the switchblade, but these longer knives are legal if you have them, you know, exposed. You know, open carry kind of thing. You know, so what does it end up being? Well, look at the news and stabbings. You know, when it comes to self-defense, are we really worried about some guy coming up and knocking us out and just walking away? You know. Yeah, it's a problem, you know? Yeah, I can defend myself from that too, but that's not my main concern. My main concern is somebody stabbing me to death or somebody pulling out a gun and having to disarm me. You know? Having to disarm them and just use it on them, you know? Or at least doing something that allows me to get away, you know? Trying to take them down is going to get you shot. Trying to grapple somebody who pulls out a knife while you rush them is going to get you stabbed to death. Okay? How can you train for these things? Well, you need to train speed and precision and tact. These three things you need to train the most. Nothing else comes close. You understand me? Then, of course, disarms and what have you. You know, and then it pays to, you know, carry a knife of your own. You know, so that's what self-defense is. That's why the guy who can do this quicker than other people can cover that distance and is as fast as the fastest martial artists in the world, and faster than all the top boxers, as I've demonstrated in my other videos. That's why that kind of guy has the upper hand, and not these other martial artists who are really stylized martial artists. They're going to compete with their jiu-jitsu with another jiu-jitsu guy. They're going to compete with taekwondo with another taekwondo guy. Okay? Unless, of course, they go to the MMA. Then it gives the jiu-jitsu guys the upper hand. Because who's one of the top guys? John Jones, right? You think it's a coincidence that he does jiu-jitsu? You know? You think it's a coincidence that almost all these people are either at least familiar with jiu-jitsu? And almost all of the champions have practiced some form of jiu-jitsu? You know? I wonder. So in the MMA fighting, jiu-jitsu reigns supreme. Pretty much. More or less. In street fighting, speed, stealth, technique, precision, tactics reign supreme. And we're talking more Wing Chun, Taekwondo, Shaolin, Kung Fu. You know, the things that I do, and I do rather well, to the point where I could put thousands of dollars on the line and say, hey, go ahead and beat me if you can, and no one can. How much do you think people want to beat someone making the specific claim that I have? By itself, you know, forget everything else. Forget all the other things that are involved here. How much do the average person want to beat someone like me making that claim, money or not? Now throw in fucking up to $3,025. Throw in a guy who says he's a jihadist and goes on and on about all the groups of people he hates, which makes up pretty much the majority of the population of America. Throw in me specifically calling out martial art dojos. Throw in the fact that I rub it in their face. I rub it in the military's face. I rub it in the police face. I rub it in the martial art. I'm throwing all these things. What do you have left? No excuse for the opposition, and the exact reason why I can say I'm the top martial artist in America without being a liar or putting extras on it. I guarantee you will not find any film of anybody defeating me. You understand me? The only thing that you might have is something when I was first learning to spar, you know, at a Taekwondo dojo in Morgantown. Besides that, you're not going to see anything. You know, and if you ask my family, they have countless, you know, when I got stabbed, it's because I won in martial arts. The boxing champion I faced in my backyard, more or less, I defeated him. 10-0. No feet. Boxer. No feet. How do you win in boxing if you don't fucking, you know, points, right? Points is what determines. That's how did Mayweather win most of his fight. If not by points. The judge's scorecard, you know. This guy's, you know, 55, 42, whatever, you know, points. That is what it boils down to. Why do they count points in a thing where what people want to see people get knocked down? Because it shows skill. Okay? Thus point sparring, thus self-defense, thus the most relevant, accurate way to judge self-defense without actually fighting to the death. Even more accurate than full contact. Because in full contact, you know, you're throwing in an element of this is a fight. This is not the principles of self-defense. And you can't say, well, what about sword fighting? Because we don't walk around with swords. What about knife fighting? Because we're talking about an array of weapons that are available. There might be a bottle. It might be the keys. You might have a glass bottle. You know, this is not glass, but you get what I'm saying. Whatever. It might be a fucking flashlight. It might be one of those long flashlights the police use, you know. So what shows us who's the best at self-defense, if not what I am the best at? And why do I have to say it so much, other than the fact that there's a bunch of cowards who want to concede my point? The same reason why I have to overkill all my points, isn't it? We live in a society where a bunch of cowards don't want to admit a black Muslim is the top martial artist in America at self-defense and sparring. We live in a society where a bunch of cowards don't want to concede what is going on because then they might have to man up. So they downplay the things that are going on. You know, and of course a bunch of Illuminati filth who control the media. You think they're going to give me my credit when I air them out thoroughly and their bootlicking masters? Their satanic agenda? I mean, come on now. Is it any mystery why I predicted what would happen, that I would be shunned? The moment watch the videos after I made my top martial arts challenge. I predicted nobody would beat me. Nobody beat me. I predicted I would be shunned and a bunch of bootlickers would say every kind of trollish comment except for giving me my credit. And that is exactly what happened. Thank you.